So you're moving to Middleton, Idaho. You like a small town feel, no HOA or CCNRs, and a variety of home options, and a number of other things. And it may just be the place for you. But there are a number of cons, and we're going to just jump right into those. Then I'll get into the housing and all of the reasons you just might want to move to Middleton. First off, the commutes can just flat out suck. Later, I'll go over the location and some of the different major commutes, but Middleton is way out there and you're gonna be driving 30 to 60 minutes to get into town.
But I'm out of the habit of driving out to the boonies at the drop of a hat.
And even just a 15-minute drive to get into Middleton's store and downtown, depending on where you live in the area. With that comes not having a lot to do. You really have one grocery store, one pharmacy, one restaurant, just one of everything. Not exactly, but you get the point. There isn't the shopping and the concerts and all of the restaurants you would have in other parts of the Treasure Valley. Now, let's get into everything else about Middleton, Idaho and see if they will be a pro or a con for you. With only a population of about 10,000 people, Middleton is going to be the smallest city in the valley. So you get a true small town feel. And when you visit Middleton, you truly feel that.
Just a small town girl.
You have the one grocery store, a few shops and restaurants, and the style of homes and neighborhoods you would expect in a small town. Minus a few new developments that have come to Middleton here recently. We will take a look at those later, but the people that live there will make you feel at home, but they are also going to be small town Republican and they're going to want to keep it that way. So if you are not that way, it may be a place to stay away from. My name's Brady Fagel. I am a local realtor in the Boise area and I've grown up here and lived here for more than 20 years. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, reach out to me, shoot me a text, a call, an email.
Hey, let's speed this up. New rule.
And even if you're not thinking of moving to Boise or you decide that it may not be for you and you're thinking about Texas or Florida, you're trying to figure out where you want to go, reach out to me anyway. I'd love to help you see which is actually going to fit your needs the best so that you make the right decision, because Boise is just not for everyone. Next up is a big one and goes along with that small town feel, but Middleton offers a lot of places with no CCNRs or HOAs, which I know for some of you is a big deal. You have the freedom to do what you want with your home and your land and save on the fees that you pay with HOAs. Now, some of the new development homes are going to have HOAs, but for the most part, Middleton's going to offer the most amount of options when it comes to finding property without those rules and regulations. Now, as I mentioned, the commutes from Middleton are rough. Middleton is the farthest northwest corner of the valley, so your commutes from Middleton into Boise will be 40 to 60 minutes depending on traffic and weather. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes into Star, and then 20 to 30 into Meridian and the Village and a lot of the things in the central part of the valley. And if you end up buying some land and live in the country, your commutes are going to be an extra 10 to 15 minutes into Middleton itself. So depending on where you decide to live, if you're looking for some land out by the BLM land, it's going to add an extra 10 to 15. Which leads me into housing. There's a few options in Middleton, one being that land opportunity I mentioned. Middleton has the space and the neighborhoods in place to have a ton of options for lands. You can get modest size homes on an acre or more for 600,000 to 800,000, and you can also find 3,000 to 4,000 square foot homes on an acre or more for around $1 million, which if you compare that to places like Eagle, it's much more affordable in Middleton than it is Eagle or Boise. And this is a big part of the appeal of Middleton, is that you can have that land with no CCNRs and you can pay a little bit less than you might in Eagle or Hidden Springs or Boise. Middleton also offers a lot of new construction that I mentioned earlier. In your typical subdivisions, the typical developments with your HOA and your pool and your park in the neighborhood. And as it has grown over the last few years, it has brought a lot of new construction homes. So it's continuing to grow. There's continuing to be more and more new subdivisions built. And especially with its neighbor, Star, which has been one of the fastest growing cities in the valley, that's grown a lot more, and there's a lot more neighborhoods and restaurants and grocery stores in Star. So Middleton's not too far behind, but as of now, it's still the smallest town in the valley, and hopefully it stays that way for a little bit longer. The next big draw is the BLM land right next door and the outdoor opportunity. You have thousands of acres of BLM land right next to town. So if you like to ride dirt bikes, horses, shoot guns, or just get out, it's a great thing to have available. You also have the Boise River that runs right through town to walk the greenbelt, fish, cool off in the summer, and you have plenty of parks for kids throughout the town. Piccadilly Park is a popular one in Middleton with splash pads for the kids, a little skate park, and right by a lot of the new home developments. You also have golf courses. Purple Sage is one of the best golf courses in the valley, and my grandpa used to golf there every single day, and I used to golf out there with him, and it's a beautiful course. It's technically a Caldwell address, but it's in Middleton, and there is some property out there as well. So a really cool option to have Purple Sage out there as well. It's also going to be one of the safest areas in the valley. If you look at any crime rate, it is almost 50 to 60% lower crime rates than the national average. Middleton also has its own school district, which rings true for small town feel because it offers some better attention for your kids with less kids per teacher, and having its own districts gives them a little bit more control, and it's still a very well rated district. There's also plenty of homeschool options and support, which is true for the whole state. And if you want to see the best schools in the entire valley, you can check out this video here, which may show that Middleton wouldn't be the best option for your kids when it comes to school options.